Morning, Raptor Freak. Alexiot's here. Friday morning. Wow, what a great free agency period so far last night. It opened up and everything happened like boom right away. It was like it all. It's right there. Except there's a weird little holdup at this point with free agency to see what Kevin Durant is going to do, what's going to happen with him. It's so incredible what he did. He waited for Kyrie to opt in, and now he's requested a trade. I don't think he likes playing with Kyrie for some reason. I'm not sure what's going on with Brooklyn. It's so weird. But Kevin Durant is getting shopped around for deals, and they're talking about him from us. Like, what would we give up to send there? And Nets fan is like Scotty Barnes. And I'm like, no way. No, 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 no. Let's listen, Raptor fans. We got to think about this real quick. Kevin Durant, sure, he is one of the greatest players to ever play in the NBA. But how many more years does he have? And what is Scotty Barnes in the future? We don't know. And that's the thing you got to weigh when you're thinking about this. Like, I don't think I would do it at this point. Like, the more I think about it, a lot of people, we've been arguing this the last 24 hours. A lot of people would do this, trade Scotty Barnes for Kevin Durant right now. And I'm like, no way, don't do that. Seriously, it's not a good idea because Kevin's often hurt. Seriously, he's not a young guy. It may mean you get like a 2 or 3 year period for championships and winning and trying to get those championships, but there's no guarantees with that. And then, after he leaves, because of the deal that we'd probably have to make to send to get him here, we would have given up a lot and it would have gutted our team in a way, kind of like Brooklyn's been to get Kevin in the first place. So I'm not for a Kevin Durant trade at this point. In fact, I'm very happy that Masai and Bobby yesterday did exactly what they said they were going to do. And that is re-sign their free agents and get on the mid-level exception market. Now, they didn't get on the mid-level exception market very quickly. And guys have been snatched up left and right quick. Like Lonnie Walker did. He went to the Lakers, y'all, which sucks. I'm like, Lonnie Walker, what are you doing going to the Lakers? Why do you want to go to that dumpster fire? And now Gary Payton, the second, has signed already, too. I was hoping he was the other one that I was kind of looking at. But he is signed. Oh, he signed some good money, though. 3 years, $28 million a year. I mean, we could have signed him for that. We actually have 10 million available for this mid-level exception that we have left after the Thad and Chris Boucher deals. Of course, we re-signed Chris and Thad, Tom Duke, woohoo! Boucher and Thad signed. That was nice. Thad signed. That was all I worried about. It's a good morning. Yes, I agree with Tom Duke and his little bees here. That like we really did want to get Chris back, and it happened right away, and it was so happy. And he posted so many things on Instagram after he signed. This man is just jubilant. And honestly, what a great day for him to be a Canadian on Canada Day after he just signed a $35 million 3-year contract, which I think is completely fair and is right around the sweet spot that we've been talking about for him to get money. That is like 35 million, 3 years. What is that? That's about 12, 13 million a year. That is perfectly good for a Chris Boucher role player off the bench and stuff like that. So, all right, let's see. Sugar Ray said, wow, some Toronto Raptors fans would trade their mom for a superstar. Always happy candidate, but yeah, like, I don't know, like, about this Kevin Durant thing. Two ways you can look at it. It's like this is a huge opportunity. It could be a huge move, just like the Kawhi Leonard move. But also, what are you going to be sending the other way? Like, if it's something like Gary and OG and 3 first-round picks, like they've been saying that could be the deal, I don't know. That's like 3 first-round picks. But then again, if we're always winning, those first-round picks aren't, you know what I'm saying? Tom Duke believes that Scotty Roy will be Scotty MVP soon enough. And that's why you don't go messing around with the young player's career and upending him and send him somewhere else when he likes it in your city and think it's a good fit. And good in all kinds of different ways. In fact, Scotty last night posted a celebration of Chris Boucher re-signing with the Raptors. Like him and Chris are good buddies. I can see where they have a lot of in common, and that they enjoy being around each other. and stuff like that. So Scotty Barnes, I love how he celebrates his other teammates. It's like he's not a selfish dude. He's so happy to see Koloko coming in. He posted about that, and now he's posting about Chris Boucher getting re-signed to the team. There's no hate in this. This is a team glue guy. And Thad Young, fantastic to see this. After we did the stream yesterday, I got on Twitter and I saw Thad's wife on Twitter saying, "It is blessed to be blessed." And 16 seasons NBA. Wow. And I was like, okay, this is tip in their hat. And then she hashtag we the North. And I was like, okay, this is tip in the hat. If Thad Young's wife is posting on a tweet on Twitter talking about we the North and 16 years in the NBA, but we are blessed, then that means he's re-signing with the Raptors. And sure enough, he did. It was a 2-year deal at 16 million. So, and he's making 7.7 this year. So he'll be making a little bit more next year. But these are fantastic deals, honestly. Like, we got Thad for about the amount we wanted. I was thinking 5 to 10 million, and it's right in the middle there. And the great thing about it is that the money that Chris and Thad got yesterday allows still a lot of flexibility for us to get a good bench player still on top of this. But we're looking at the contracts now, and there's so many confirmed contracts on this team now that there's not much roster room at all at this point. It really is going to get one more mid-level exception signee for about 10 million this season, which means you could get a pretty damn good role player for your bench. The only problem is a lot of these guys are getting snatched up really fast. Like last night, it was a crazy feeding frenzy. If there's any deals that happened yesterday that you guys want to talk about specifically in the comments, just go ahead and put them in there, and I'll analyze and talk about each one, any of them. But I might just do a general overall look at the free agency moves in just a sec. Tom Duke's got the Maple Leafs out. Maple Leaf Parade. That's right. G is here. Good to see G. Lakers and Heat get free agents easier regardless of their culture. That's why we develop within. Imagine Masai had the luxury of the Lakers in Miami. This shows how great he actually is. In some ways, what you're saying is absolutely true and great, but is it an advantage? I think in some ways, because these teams have such an easy time getting people there, maybe they think that players are a little bit more expendable. And maybe they don't value them like the Raptors value our players and invest and build them up. The Lakers this may be part of the huge problem with the Lakers, is that they were like, well, we can try this cast of crew for this season, but if they suck, we'll just wipe them out and start all over next year. That's what I'm saying, that maybe that luxury and that ability to attract people easily is also a detriment on the down low, because they don't value their players as much as we do. And that's what I'll say to that, G. But I think you're right. They definitely do attract people easier. Even the Lakers being a dumpster fire. Oh my gosh. How do they do it? It's like, who would want to play there, honestly? And then Miami, of course, the weather, Pat Riley, Eric Spoelstra. There's good things about that. G's saying Cat is getting 56 million a year. Wow, Carl Anthony Towns. Holy crap, that is amazing. That is amazing. That's a lot of money. And Jokic getting a $250 million deal extension. That is one of the record deals. There's like 2 deals like that. I think it's Bradley Beal and him. Then that's it. Paul B's here. He's saying, I want KD. You can't convince me it's a bad idea. Well, if it's Scotty Barnes, it is. I would say almost everybody else. I may even put Pascal going the other way for KD, but I will not touch Scotty Barnes. I'm sorry. He's my buddy now. Like, this is my Twitch dude, and I see how he won't give up on Lloyd on NBA 2K. How am I going to give up on Scotty and let him go to Brooklyn for Kevin Durant? And, Nets Nation is saying this straight up, that if you want Kevin Durant from us, you better be sending us Scotty Barnes back. So I don't know, Paul B. I mean, this is tough. I mean, Kevin is special, and he would really put us in the championship picture. And if we had enough around still with him, it would be a smart move. And I'm sure Bobby and Masai are looking at this, and they're trying to figure it out. But also, they're not going to overextend themselves, which is great. And I hope that in their minds, Scotty Barnes is untouchable as far as in the deal. They'll just say, no, Scotty's not going to be involved in anything coming towards y'all. You're going to have to get some of our other assets instead. Yeah, because I can't see that. I just can't see it, Paul. I'm sorry. Paul's saying 4 seasons of him. This is the player you make a big move for if possible. I know. I'm really on the fence, and I'll waver on this. I think that the big thing is that it just can't be Scotty. It just can't be Scotty, Paul. Like if I would say anybody else on the team is gettable for this deal, but it cannot be Scotty Barnes. I don't even care about the draft picks. Throw in like 5 first-round draft picks or something like that. But don't trade Scotty Barnes. That's the only thing I'm telling them. Do not do nothing like that with that. And that may be why Scotty's in LA with Bill Duffy, that this free agency period is uncertain. He's a rookie. This is the first time he's going through this free agency period from his perspective. And because of this Kevin Durant landscape with his possibility of moving and the sweepstakes and everybody's talking about it, he needs to be close to his representative and understanding what's happening right now and talking to him. And that's part of the reason why he's probably been with Bill Duffy this week. G saying this isn't the 2019 Raptors team yet that played 22 games without Kawhi and won 17. Raps lack depth and experience. Gutting the starting lineup for KD will be the Nets 2.0. No depth and defense. Ooh, gee, that's a hard take. I mean, we don't compare to that team in 2019 as far as veteran experience and maybe maturation as a championship team. But then again, how can you tell? Like, it's really hard to say. Like, a lot of people are still saying we don't have a bench, but you guys may be shocked this year. Mysteriously, even though we didn't make a lot of moves, we might have a really good bench this year, which is crazy. I was really disappointed that DeLon Wright went to Washington yesterday. This might have been a really good player that we could have gotten for that spot, but it's too bad. He's going to be on Washington Wizards next season. He's been on a lot of teams in the NBA over his career, but yeah, DeLon was one that hurt. And then, Lonnie Walker also yesterday kind of hurt. Those were the ones that I was kind of like, if we could just get on those guys and get them here, that would be good and stuff like that. Paul B saying, oh, yeah, exactly. No Scotty. Everyone else is available for contract match reasons. Yeah, we can't. The potential for Scotty is just insane. And listen, this is such a good fit. We don't want to give him a harsh lesson in the NBA right away, right after his first year, a dream season with the Raptors. We don't want to send him after one season to Brooklyn. And this is the thing, Brooklyn is not very well run. They have a lot of issues. I'm sorry, they did a lot of interesting things with getting huge names this past couple of years, but it's been all a failure. And I worry for Scotty Barnes' NBA future if he ended up being a Brooklyn Net. I'm just going to be honest. And I care about him as a person. And I just don't want him to get into situations bad for him because we traded him for Kevin Durant. I don't like that. I just don't like that. Scott, if you're watching me, that's what I'm saying, Scotty, is that I don't want you personally. I care about you as a person. I don't want you to go to a bad situation. And that's what I'm saying about that. G saying want KD as well, but not at a ridiculous price. Yeah, it can't be completely ridiculous. And that's probably what the Nets are trying to do right now. They got this big piece of steak in front of everybody, and we're all bulldogs in the alley, kind of like salivating, wanting to get a bite of it. And they really know that they can power play on this. And honestly, this is kind of only their real leverage in some ways because they don't have any draft picks. They don't have a lot of different things they can do with move-wise. So they need to hit it out of the park with what they get back for Kevin. And they may really try and fleece the other side. And we don't want to be fleeced by them. Once again, this is like a poker game. Sometimes it's good to just stay pat. Stay where you are. Don't take it, or blackjack. Don't take another hit. Don't get that extra card. You're sitting real good at 20. Don't get the next card. What are you going to get? Or you're at 18 or 19. You can beat the dealer with that. All right, let's see. Paul B saying he probably goes to the Suns, though. That's what I'm hearing the strongest right now, is that the Suns are a real good suitor. And this could be this is the thing. Teams that have different problems, they can fit the problems with each other. It's like the problem carousel that we talk about. DeAndre Ayton is a problem for the Suns. And that maybe a sign and trade with DeAndre Ayton for Kevin Durant is the best move for this to be figured out in some ways. So, I think the Suns are the front runner, and that's what I'm hearing. But Miami's lusting real hard for Kevin Durant also, and they could do some crazy stuff too. That's the thing; it's unknown. Anybody could do this. It's really who wants to really make some big moves with moving important pieces of their team to get Kevin Durant. So we'll have to see what happens. Isaiah's here. Good to see you, Isaiah. Salute to you, Raptor Freak. First time commenting. I'm usually at work at this time, so I don't get to comment. You are one of the only true Raptor fans. Oh, man, Isaiah. What a nice comment. You're one of the true ones. We're all true Raptor fans. It's not about like being fake or real ones, but I appreciate the great comment and that you finally are here with us because it's Canada Day and you got the day off and you're here live with us. Fantastic, Isaiah. I'm so happy to have you here today. And please be active in the chat. Tell us what you're thinking, your opinions on stuff that happened yesterday. We're going to be talking about Team Canada's game against Dominican Republic tonight. Like, it's really kind of disappointing that only 4 of the NBA guys will be available to play tonight because all the rest of the guys are held out for injury or different reasons, stuff like that. But it'll be really fun to see Shai and Nickel play together as cousins. At least those 2 guys will be out on the court as a tandem out there. And then they'll have Kelly Olynyk and Dwight Powell as the other 2 NBA players that are on Team Canada tonight against Dominican. It's too bad there's not more guys. And I wonder who's going to be that 5th starter. I'm going to guess that the 4 NBA guys will start, and then they'll put in some guy in the middle as a small forward. The 2 cousins at the guards, Dwight Powell maybe at center, and or Olynyk at center, Powell at power forward, and then we'll have to see who starts at small forward. But it could be somebody like Kyle Alexander, who plays for the Shooting Stars. It could be Aaron Best. It could be Zach Edey. I don't know who they start at the 5th spot in the starting lineup tonight because there's only 4 NBA players. So I would think, who's going to be the 5th starter? And maybe they don't start all the NBA guys. There's a couple guys that aren't. But thanks again, Isaiah. And I'm glad you watch later on. And I'm glad you're here live right now. All right. Rahul's here from the general manager office. Let's see. Rahul's saying this is a realistic package for KD. Okay. Rahul knows it. Or seriously. For Freddie, OG, Achua, 4 first-round picks and 3 pick swaps. This package, if we don't include Scotty and Pascal. Wow. That's a realistic package for them. Holy crap. That is a lot. Freddie, OG, and Precious, and 4 first-round picks. Holy crap. Rahul, hang up that phone. Hang up that phone. Hang up that phone. We don't want that deal. No, we don't. And the Nets don't want $8 net max dollars. Okay. Well, that informs things. Maybe the Suns aren't the best partner to tango with the Brooklyn Nets on this Kevin Durant dance number. Who will it be then? Rahul saying Miami can't trade for KD because Bam and Ben Simmons cannot be on the same team due to contracts. Weird. So you're saying they'd have to trade Bam for Kevin? And that's the only way to do it? Man, this is so weird. So many different feuds and bridges burned and different weird things in the league. Like Russell can't play with KD, and this can't happen with this because they played with this team already and they don't get along anymore because of this and stuff like that. Some people are saying one of the craziest things that could happen is that Kevin Durant gets traded to Oklahoma City Thunder for some of their young assets and like their picks and stuff like that. Like, what if it's full circle? What if the man goes back to Oklahoma City? And imagine the grief he's going to get from the fans there. And imagine that how he's not going to get anywhere because there's not a lot there. So it's going to be really weird. But this is the thing, until Kevin Durant gets sorted out, and then Kyrie also, I guess Kyrie's already kind of sorted out. The free agency is kind of being like a little bit of a standstill with some of the bigger names that are still not signed because they want to see the market trend with Kevin Durant and what happens and all that. So let's see. Tom, they don't want to hamper themselves to not get Kevin right now. A lot of people are waiting to do more moves because they want to be flexible and be able to do a move for Kevin right now if they can. It's kind of really weird. And it's like, hurry up at the beginning, do all the stuff you already had intended to do, but now wait for this domino to fall and then get on the second part of free agency after Kevin gets moved. Is the kind of thing this is what I'm trying to say. Tom Duke saying Paul B is right. Durant ends up in Phoenix running from Kyrie. Any Nets trade would still ruin us. Wanting multiple starters and picks. No thanks, Rahul. Pass that along to your bosses for me. That's what Tom Duke's saying as a friend to Rahul. He said, hang that phone up. We don't want to talk to Brooklyn about a deal if that's how steep the price is. It's like Portland, nope. Hiccup. Phoenix, nope. Click. Whatever we got to do. G saying, I don't know how I feel about this. KD is 34 and injury prone. Giving our youth to me seems risky. If he's 27-year-old Durant, that's an entirely different ballpark. Yeah. I think this is pretty accurate here. Like, I mean, I know Durant probably could play a really good solid 3 to 5 years still. Seriously, this is just the way he is. But the more often he's missing games as his career goes on, and that's just natural and stuff like that. And they really have been riding him hard, like in Brooklyn the last couple years and stuff like that. And then his injury against us and stuff like that, it wasn't a good injury, and it took him a little while to get back from, just like Klay Thompson. So I don't know. I mean, part of me is like, it's Kevin Durant, man. Come on. This is the dream. We wanted him in Toronto for a long time. And, but also I'm like, Scotty Barnes is the future, and we shouldn't mess around with that at all. So Paul B saying, will there be any other free agency moves today? I think there'll be little ones and things kind of like trickling through. It was really a deluge. Like, it really, right at 6 p.m. last night, it went crazy. Like, boom, everything happened. And I really do like that Bobby Webster took care of Chris and Thad right away, that we didn't have any question marks. And we did exactly, this is the thing. People got to just listen to Masai and Bobby, what they're saying. They're saying what they're going to do, and they're doing what they're going to say. Because this is the thing. They didn't do anything weird. They didn't go off like something strange. And some people live for that kind of stuff, and they're upset because we're not doing anything reckless or crazy or out of the box. I think this is a really bad way to be as a Raptor fan, because it's like you think that we need, but we have. And that's the thing. Be very happy that we've kept what we have, kept it in-house, because it's very true that the nucleus of the Raptors from last season was super special. That band of brothers that was assembled and put together is special to somebody like Scotty Barnes, who was a rookie last year. And these will be the guys that he played on a team with in the NBA in his first year in the NBA forever. It will never change. So why not keep the band together? If Scotty loves it and it feels good, and listen, I cannot stress enough that time together breeds familiarity. And that the more familiar our young players are together, the more things don't change unless they have to change, the better. Because Scotty will get more in tune with these specific guys. Like Chris leaves, if he's gone all of a sudden, Chris Boucher, there's something that's missing. It's like Scotty's coming to training camp and he's like, where's Chris? Well, Chris is on the Miami Heat now. He's like, well, this sucks. So in a lot of ways, I think that part of the strategy of keeping the Raptors pretty much the same and keeping them forward like this is to keep that continuity and that sense of security and family about the team and that core. That Precious, Gary, OG, Pascal, Fred, Kim, Thad, Chris, all these guys, Koloko now, these guys are all a part of the core and the Raptors. And that Scotty likes this team. We want to keep Scotty happy. So let's keep them together. That's why I think that anybody wants a big splash this summer, just be patient and just look and see how much we jump ahead just with what we stayed with. So let's see. All right, let's keep going. Tom Duke's saying, fun day to watch what happens in the NBA. Yeah, last night really was. I think that it's like mostly done. But we'll see. Like, I've got the list right here of who's available still and who got what. Let's just go over it a little bit just for fun. Bradley Beal re-signed with Washington last night for a huge deal. 5 years, $250 million for Bradley Beal for 5 years. How old is he? He's 29. This man's going to be being paid for Washington by big money for a long time, 50 million a year. Holy crap! Jalen Brunson, the next highest paid yesterday, 4 years at 104 million dollars. That's 26 million a year. That's New York. New York wanted to get him bad. Portland re-signed Anthony Simons to a 4-year, $100 million deal, 25 million a year. Lou Dort signing for a contract that really kind of is like more for him. 5 years at $87.5 million. That's $17.5 million a year. Good job, Lou Dort. Proud of him as a Canadian, and glad that he's getting paid a more fair amount. Like he was getting paid so little for what he was and stuff like that. This was necessary, honestly. And I know a lot of people were speculating about, let's steal Lou Dort from the Oklahoma City Thunder or do something like that. Well, they're investing in him. They want him. That's obvious and stuff like that. So we'll have to see. All right, let's see. Those are a couple of those top deals from yesterday, but we'll look at more. I'll look at more at that list in different places and stuff like that. So let's see. Paul B saying, I want to buy Durant Raptors merch. Drake would have a field day. Well, Drake's the one who should be helping us land this. Like, as if he can do anything, like, go and talk to Kevin and say, hey, come to Toronto. But in some ways, do we know? MK's asking, is this the official death of super teams? I think it might be. I mean, it should be. This whole thing should have never really gotten this out of control. The Boston super team and then Miami super team, 10, 15 years ago, that was interesting at the beginning, but everybody's just trying to mimic it over and over again. And it just doesn't work. It doesn't work. LA and the Lakers and the Nets have killed it, to be honest, in some ways. And I think you're right. I don't think if you're a smart GM that you build a team like that anymore. The whole top heavy salary structure where you're paying like 3 guys all your money and you just got scrubs throughout the rest of the roster has shown that the team will suck. And I think you're right, MK. I think that it's maybe not totally dead. And maybe there's still some people out there, there's fans definitely that still think super teams are the way to go. But that the reality of the situation, the GMs know it, the league knows it, the players know it, that maybe it is time to be more like Giannis and stick with your team you're already on with the Supermax and try and win that way. It's like Kobe said, you could go and join all your friends, but to stay with one team and go through the good and the bad like Kobe did with the Lakers is more impressive than trying to jump ship and just get easy championships with new guys all the time. So I'm leaning towards thinking that this statement is probably true. I don't know if it's what would be official, but I think that super teams have been dying slowly over the last couple of years, actually. Rahul saying, I'm worried about KD and Kyrie going to the Lakers in the same package. Well, let's not worry about this. Like, honestly, even if they get like some sort of crazy Space Jam all-star team on the Lakers, we know that they tried to do that last year. Now, how will they be able to have KD, Kyrie, and LeBron on the same team? I'm going to guess that means AD and Russell Westbrook are going to be Brooklyn Nets in that deal. So that would basically mean that it would be LeBron, Kevin, and Kyrie together. Okay, that's interesting. Is there only one basketball that's on the court? That's what I would ask. I don't know, but the prospect of it is a little dangerous and scary. Just the thought of maybe LeBron and Kevin Durant being on the same team is really weird. But then again, would it work? That's the thing. In theory, it's like sounds really good on paper and stuff like that, but would it work really in reality? Is what I'll say. G saying Lakers don't have enough unless AD is in the package. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's got to be Anthony Davis and Russell probably going the other way for those two guys. It's got to be pretty equal. And that's actually kind of equal. And it would be a really interesting reshuffle for them. I'm not worried about the Lakers. Listen, they had such a bad year last year. There's no way that they're magically just going to be some sort of superpower this year. I'm going to tell you that right now. That's what the NBA hype machine is going to want, but I just don't see it. The dysfunction of their franchise is just too great. There's problems in their front office with who's in charge and who's running things, and they don't have a clear idea what they're doing exactly. There's a lot of problems in the front office. And then get into the LeBron problems, the Russell Westbrook problems, the AD problems. Those are all things that are issues there, seriously. So All right, let's see. Rahul saying Miami will ask for Bam, but the Nets can trade Bam for Donovan Mitchell. Yeah, that's the other thing I'm hearing is that Miami's talking to Utah about getting Donovan Mitchell at this point and stuff like that. That's crazy. That's crazy. That'd be interesting. I think that Miami's kind of stupid right now. Like they're really doing dumb things. Like I have to wonder if Pat Riley is getting senile or something like that. There's something weird going on here with him. It's like I don't know. Bam Adebayo is maybe one of their best assets to me, and they should be respecting him and dealing with him a little bit better than just using him as a bargaining chip right now around the league. Is what I'll say. Rahul's saying Pelicans have the package to get a KD deal done. Yeah, I think that I've heard that they're a realistic suitor for this to happen. And maybe not exactly where Kevin wants to be, but hey, it is what it is. Rahul's saying if you think about the Paul George trade from Oklahoma City got Shea, Gallinari, 4 or 5 first round picks, and 2 pick swaps. Yeah, they did fleece the Clippers, and it was really part of Kawhi strong arming the Clippers and saying you need to do this, or I'm not going to come to the Clippers. And it's funny they did it, and now it's kind of like really helped Oklahoma City in some ways. And the Clippers are one of these teams that are hurt for like picks. That way, the other way. Rahul saying Drake will push Masai and management to go trade for KD. I bet Drake's got on phone call with KD about coming to Toronto. Sure that he has. I'm sure that there's a lot of chatter going on. It's funny in the age of Twitter, doing free agency is really weird because you see players that aren't even involved in any kind of free agency stuff commenting and like posting popcorn, like they're watching and stuff like that. John Morant's very all over Twitter these days, and he's not afraid to voice his opinions and different stuff like that. It's very interesting. Good morning to David S. I'm happy this morning, David. I'm very happy. I was actually very delighted to see that we did mess around. We just got stuff done with Chris and Thad, and that's all I was asking. The mid-level exception deal is going to happen soon enough also, and it's going to be really interesting and cool also. So, all right, I got 2 bots today. Let's see. Isaiah saying, I trust in Masai. I wouldn't mortgage our future. We have to give up way too much. Our front office knows what they're doing with us. It's more about the character of these players and how they will fit with us. And also just taking the time to let them develop together and have time together. It's like you don't want to break, like I said, you don't want to break up the band. The band has good music playing. And there's no reason if there's essential guys or the good dudes that go together, then keep going. And the thing is, we've gotten more longer and taller and bigger. And we were already scary big. And with Koloko coming in now, we really do have a great arrangement of size on our roster at this point. So it's really good. And I'm with Isaiah. It's like, we don't want to give up too much to go crazy and try and get a Kevin Durant deal done or something like that. We really don't. It's really a tightrope we got to walk about really thinking about it. But once again, as you said, we trust in Masai. Thank God that we have somebody that we can really, he's going to take the opportunity if it's the best opportunity. But if it's not, he won't take it. And that we won't have anybody who makes a rash decision that may be careless and kind of like, why did you do that? Like in a couple months, we'll be like, why did he do that deal? We won't feel that. Now, hopefully, I'd rather than not do anything than do something rash that may be risky. Is what I'll say. Random Gamers here. This is a Philly fan. Meanwhile, the Philadelphia is slowly becoming the Philadelphia Rockets. Good morning, everybody. Yeah, I noticed that you guys are getting more and more Rocket players. Listen, I think that y'all's moves are good. You know what? You should be excited in Philadelphia with the turn of events we were talking about yesterday with James Harden taking less money to allow salary cap stuff and PJ Tucker's arrival. DeAndre Melton, there's some interesting new pieces on your team in Philadelphia, and it'll be interesting to see the new look of the Sixers and see how they do this year. Like PJ Tucker's a great acquisition. I'm gonna look at the free agency list. You got Daniel House from Utah, a 2-year deal at $8 million. So you got a $4 million guy. He's kind of, I guess he's a bench role guy. House, we played him a couple times. You got Trevelyan Queen from Houston. There's another Houston guy, 2-year deal for $3 million. So he's very cheap. So it looks like you got He made some moves. You made some moves. You got some new faces, new bench in Philadelphia. So it'll be very interesting to see what your look is and how much better you guys are and stuff like that. Evelyn's saying happy 155th Canada Day. Happy Canada Day to you, Granny Evelyn and baby Candace and everybody else in your family and stuff like that. Always so happy to see Granny Evelyn in the chat and stuff like that. And happy Canada Day to everybody else. Even if you're not Canadian, I'm saying happy Canada Day to you also, random gamer. MK saying, what do you think of DeJounte Murray to the Hawks? This is really cool backcourt. I think that the coolest thing about Murray in the Hawks is the entertainment value that possibly will be spurned from Trae Young playing beside DeJounte Murray. So yeah, I was thinking about that may be a really fun backcourt to watch just for like how good they are and stuff like that. But it's gonna be very interesting to see how All-Star kind of works with that because these guys are both really high level guys. And I'm wondering if the Hawks are going to get both of them in the All-Star team this year because it may be not that way. It really may depend on how well they do. If they're just a middling team like they normally are, I think only one of them will get on the All-Star team. But if they are really good and they're near the top of the Eastern Conference, maybe both of them make the All-Star team. I don't know. That's a tough decision. These are the kind of things I'm thinking about it now. But I like the move. I know that the Spurs are tanking now, and that's just what they're going to do this year. It is what it is. I mean, they know what they're doing in San Antonio, too. It's just that they've had to finally do this bottoming out. After years and years of being a great dynasty and playoff runs, the Spurs are finally having to do a whole rebuild and a complete burn down, take down, and start over. And that's why I want to get Pirtle back. Oh my gosh, I want to get Pirtle. If we could trade for Pirtle somehow, some way, I would do that. Rahul saying, do you think the Sixers can realistically get Kevin Durant? Yeah, wouldn't it be funny if they traded him for James Harden? James Harden ended up back on Brooklyn, but he's with Ben Simmons at this point. No, I don't know. I don't know their situation and stuff like that, Rahul. As far as like the Sixers and Kevin Durant, I haven't even really heard them talking about him going to Philadelphia. That's not one of the cities that you're hearing a lot about. You're hearing Miami, you're hearing Phoenix, you're hearing us, stuff like that. So in the Lakers, yeah. David S is saying Hawks will have a good team this year. Yeah, I think that they'll be a good. They've been a playoff team already. It may be that they are a second round playoff team this year. Who knows? I don't know though. It's still about their front court guys and their big guys and stuff like that. They can have a badass backcourt, and even like Trae Young has his problems. Like honestly, there are limitations and issues with Trae Young that partially lead to losing. He's got really good game. He's really good in a lot of ways, but he also has some defects that kind of hurt their team from winning long term, is what I'll say. Tom Duke is saying, let's see. Oh, David's saying, laugh out loud. Kevin Durant is not going to go to Philly to play with Harden. Yeah, I think he's just trying to get away from Harden. That's the thing I'm saying is like these guys that have played together and don't get along, they kind of block each other from moving to different places and stuff like that. And the carousel of dysfunction, we'll have to see where the ride stops and where everybody gets off from which horse on which position of the carousel to where. So we'll have to see. It's going to happen in a little bit. There'll be some shuffling, especially if KD's on the move. Tom Dick saying, we know we don't have to do anything to get better. We just need to grow. We just need to develop and we need to invest. And I love how much the Raptors have been at OVO Center this summer. Different guys are getting different workouts and different things. Like this week, Kem Birch has been working out with Team Canada. He's not playing tonight, but there's a lot of footage of Kem at practice on his knee, and he looks great, guys. I'm going to tell you that right now. Like, he's healing really fast. And the way that I think is going to work out is he's going to be ready for training camp and ready for the season right away. His surgery went really well because he's moving around and he looks good. Like, he's not totally ready to come back fully, but he's healed mostly from the knee surgery already. And this is a good sign for Kem Birch, for him being ready for us at the beginning of the Raptors season, stuff like that. So I'm really happy about that. That was really good footage to see this week. All right, let's see. And David S is saying, I'm pretty sure KD hates Joel just as much as the rest of us. Ah, I don't know. We can't comment on that totally. Tom Duke saying Philly getting tougher looking. Yeah, they look a little tougher. The bench looks a little bit more punched up. Like they may be having a little bit more juice than just Georges Niang and Korkmaz and those guys. So we'll have to see how it looks. So once again, it's like every team's gonna have a new look and a new chemistry and new kind of things. And sometimes they get worse, sometimes they get better. And I like the fact that we know what we've got. We know the chemistry we've got. We know the guys that we got and how they're going to go out there. And there's question marks whenever you reshuffle. The personalities may clash. People may be in arguments for minutes. People may not feel like they really do fit on their new team, even though they just came to a new city. There's all kinds of minefield of folly with switching guys around a lot. So when you know what you've got already in your basket, like we do in Toronto, that's kind of a strength in some ways, because you go in knowing that there won't be as many distractions that it could possibly rise up, like other teams where there are unknowns about chemistry issues between new players and stuff like that. So I would just say that. G saying, yes, Philly signed some youth. They got some more athletic, youthful guys off the bench. That's the thing. They need more athleticism off their bench. It'll be interesting. Random Gamer saying, I'm split, honestly. Obviously, I would love KD, but I don't want to trade Maxey. But man, Joel and KD would be amazing to watch. I know this is the kind of stuff we're doing too. Is like Scotty and Kevin Durant on the same team. Oh my gosh, head explode. Yeah, that's what the Lakers are doing too. Like LeBron and Kevin Durant on the same team, head explode. And now Philly fans wondering about and lusting for Joel Embiid and Kevin Durant. It's crazy the thought of what is possible with that kind of combination, stuff like that. But yeah, I think Maxey would have to be possibly. That's the thing. Brooklyn's going to try and fleece, and they're going to try and get whatever is the best thing they can get from the team that they end up doing this Kevin Durant deal with. And Philly fan may not like the price that they're asking from them too, because Tyrese Maxey is somebody they really value, like we value Scotty Barnes. So it'd be a similar kind of thing. Paul B saying KD and Scotty would be as good as MJ and Pippen. Wow. I mean, those are big words. That's big, big words. Like, I don't know. Kevin, same as Michael in some ways. I mean, Michael's, that's really hard to deal with. And I don't know. Scotty and Scotty, I don't know. I don't know. That's a weird comparison, but I won't discount it, Paul B. It could be a very similar thing if I saw it in reality. Random Gamer saying, did you see Ben's post? He was mean mugging at the camera. Then like 2 hours later, KD requested a trade. Yeah, Random Gamer, I can get in on this laugh with you. I saw that all went down like that too, and I thought it was hilarious. And I know Philly fan probably got a crack out of it. Ben Simmons is such a nerd. Like, what is this? He's like on Instagram. He's like, let's go. And then 2 hours later, Kevin's like, I want to trade. Atlantic Division rivals laughing at another Atlantic Division team when they can get on the same page. Yeah, I thought that was hilarious too. And I know you got a good chuckle out of this. This is so stupid. I mean, he probably does think that Ben Simmons is a joke. He probably got up near him and talked to him a bit like that. I don't think Ben is that bright for some reason. Like, for some reason, I feel like he's really dumb. I don't know what it is. Like, I don't know. Anyway, I don't want to talk about him too much. It's silly. G saying the team that could offer a good package for KD is also Boston. I want KD shipped off to the West personally. I am with you, G. Listen, if it's not Toronto getting Kevin Durant in the East, send him out to Phoenix. I'd love to see him on the Suns. That's fine with me. The Suns are a team that need a championship. They never won a championship. I want to see Kevin Durant go to the Suns. If he's not going to come to Toronto, I don't want him anywhere in the East. I think G and I are on the same page on this, and he's right. If we can ship him out west, that would be fantastic. That would be awesome. Paul B saying, when I see Durant with the ball in his hand, I assume it's a guaranteed made basket. Yeah, I mean, there's been many times in his career where that has been true for sure. All right, let me just go over some more of the free agency stuff. So yeah, we saw that Chris Boucher is getting a comparable contract to Marvin Bagley. Marvin's getting $2 more million a year than he is for a 3-year contract. And so that's pretty good. Like, we got Chris less than Marvin Bagley. They're right around the same place as far as getting paid. And then Chris is just above PJ Tucker which is interesting. PJ is getting 3 years from Philly at 33 million, and Chris is getting 3 years for 35 million. So PJ is Philly's getting a good deal for PJ Tucker, honestly. But he is 37 years old, and they're gonna pay him until he's 40. Okay, well, we'll see. Really sad about Gary Payton. Like last night, he hadn't signed right away, but I guess maybe it happened late last night or early this morning. But Gary did. He's leaving the Warriors. He's going to the Portland Trailblazers on a 3-year deal at 28 million. And that was actually somebody I would have hoped that possibly could have boomeranged back to us. That if this position that we need filled with the MLE on the bench, a scorer and something like that, I was hoping, man, maybe we could swing Gary Payton II back to Toronto. Well, he's on the Trailblazers. It's too bad. It's just too bad. Random Gamer saying, as long as KD isn't on Miami, I don't care what team he goes to, be honest. Well, we would care if he's on Boston. Let's just put it that way, Random Gamer. We would care if he's on Boston. Let's just, yeah, you know that you would. We'd be it's not going to be fun if he's on Boston. You know that. All right, let's see what else happened. Mo Bamba signed with Orlando back, and he took a 2-year deal at 21 million. So he's not out on the market anymore. So no Mo Bamba, guys. Sorry. Nicholas Claxton re-signed with Brooklyn at 2 years at 20 million, 10 million a year. So Claxton's not available anymore. We don't really need these centers anymore, but it is interesting to see where they went. Malik Monk ended up leaving the Lakers and going to Sacramento. We see Hartenstein went to the Knicks. As I said earlier, DeLon Wright went to Washington, which I was hoping he could possibly be this guy that we targeted as this extra guy, but no. Patty Mills is staying with Brooklyn, which is on a 2-year deal at $14.5 million. Victor Oladipo re-signed with Miami on a 1-year, $11 million deal. That's very interesting. So he did end up staying with them. Let's see. Drummond went to Chicago, guys. Andre Drummond signing with the Chicago Bulls at a 2-year deal at $6.6 million. That's weird. He only gets paid $3 million a year. Drummond, that's really weird. I don't understand that. Lonnie Walker to the Lakers. Joe Ingles to Milwaukee. That's an interesting move. Joe Ingles on the Bucks this year may be very weird. Kevin Knox left Atlanta and went to Detroit. We've got Wesley Matthews staying in Milwaukee. DeAndre Jordan is joining the Denver Nuggets on a 1-year deal at $2.9 million. And Juan Toscano Anderson is leaving the Warriors also, and he is going to the Lakers. So that's basically the big stuff. Now, looking at who's left, because we really got to kind of figure out who is left for the Raptors to try and get with this $10 million mid-level exception. Because we do have the opportunity to sign somebody new. And when I look at things, I start to see names. TJ Warren is still out there as an unrestricted free agent from Indiana, small forward. He's 29, almost 29 years old. He's somebody that I would consider interesting that possibly could do it. Now, here's an interesting one. This is a guy who's actually been a Raptor killer in the past. That's absolutely killed us in the past. And I hate him in some ways. But what if we got Jeremy Lamb, y'all? Jeremy Lamb is out there right now, still available as a free agent. And he could be interesting coming from Sacramento as a shooting guard. Somebody who can really kind of score and make some points. Jeremy Lamb, Raptor killer. We have been known to get Raptor killers, former Raptor killers on our team just to not have to play them. So I'm interested in that. All right, let's keep going on the comments. Let's see. G saying, did you see Miles Bridges' wife? Yikes, he is done. Listen, yeah, this is very interesting. We were trying to pay attention to Miles Bridges and Montrezl Harrell, and their names are still sitting there with nothing next to them. They are not getting nothing done with Charlotte. I don't know what Michael Jordan's thinking right now as far as things. He's probably like maybe washing his hands of it. I don't know. What we're going to be very interesting to see what happens with Miles Bridges. Paul B saying, Coloco it is. We have to understand this is going to be a place where we get gains. that we lacked rim protection. We lacked that center, a real center. We have one now, guys. Hallelujah. And now that center is coming in, and we're going to have to see how Christian does. I think he's going to be fantastic. I think that Bobby Webster may have done what he was saying was going to do, try and get an all-star at the 33rd pick. We're going to see if Koloko turns into an all-star eventually. I'm serious. I'm very serious. Random Gamer saying, I would hate it, but Boston would have to give up Brown and like their entire bench, so they won't be much of a team. The Heat have depth, so they can make a trade and still have pieces. I see what you're saying. Yeah, I'd hate it too, and I don't know. That's cool. And the Celtics fans are so ready to send Jaylen Brown to the Nets. Like, they have no respect for him. I don't understand that. This man, they should really value and respect Jaylen Brown more than they do. Honestly, it's crazy. G saying Koloko, Thad, Boucher off the bench is lengthy. Yeah, that's the thing. It's like we may not start a real true center if we play Scotty at center, but we have the first 5 guys off our bench are basically centers. Chris, Precious, Kem, Koloko, Thad Young. These guys are all power forward centers, kind of in a way, that kind of size. So it's kind of like it's like, all right, who do we have coming in? Well, who's our backup guard? Well, it probably is going to be Malachi and Delano. Unless we get some new name that's going to be like this extra scorer. I think it really is that what we're seeing with the Raptors and their free agency signings of Thad and Chris and getting Koloko is that we are going to be going more in the direction of being big and positionless. That if we don't get any more guards, if Fred and Malachi are the shortest guys on the team and we don't have anybody else that's like that, we can run a majority positionless scheme this season even more so. I think that they liked what they saw when we had guys like Scotty and Pascal running the point and everybody was 6'7" and up. That is going to be more like, because of the way we're building our roster this summer, that we're going more in that direction. So I'm very excited about it. And I think that that's the way to do it. The positionless scheme is a really like fruitful thing. And that as our guys, like I said, once again, I can't beat it over our heads enough. The more our guys get more familiar, the positionless scheme will work even better. And that next year, there's going to be another level we jump to, even though we were at a great level last season, competitive, a winning basketball team, very tough to play. And next year, it's going to only get worse for the rest of the league, honestly, because we're bigger and longer now. And we have more depth. Like, people on Twitter are saying, the Raptors are actually on the down low, a deep team. And we really are. Like, we have guys that could start. Like, there's a real bit ambiguity about who is going to be starting for the Raptors this season. A lot of people are pushing for Koloko already. We've already had these issues with like Precious, who starts between Precious and other guys and stuff like that. So this is going to be interesting to see. Like, if they don't think we have a deep bench because we have a lot of the same kind of player all throughout our bench. But if you think about it, I named 5 starters, the starters from last year, and then you got Boucher, Birch, Banton, Koloko, Precious, all these guys. Like, you go like 6 or 7 deep, but they're all really tall. So people think, oh, they don't have a bench because they're all really tall. We don't have any guards. It's really weird, but it'll be very interesting to see. Like, that bench is very lengthy. G is right, and it's gonna be so badass. Paul B saying, I think Thad is on the table since his contract extension leaves him trade eligible. That's cool. That's cool. Well, it's good to have that flexibility. But you know what? They did come out and say that they truly do value his veteran presence and that he is a leader on the team and that they're investing in him for these 2 years to be a mentor and a veteran leader on the team like he did already. And we know that it works. So it's really cool and stuff like that. But the other thing I didn't say about Chris's contract that's really interesting is it's all guaranteed. There's no player option or team option for the 3rd year. Chris is going to be on the Raptors for 3 more years for sure. And I predicted this week that this next 3-year period of Chris's career is going to be the best 3 years of his career. Watch. Trust me. Watch and see. He's going to be amazing, y'all. Isaiah saying Lamb is usually injured and doesn't play defense, so I'll pass. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I'm just trying to look at the scraps that are left. And that is somebody that I'm familiar with. I know that he can score. to a certain extent. And that's really kind of what we need. We need a shooter or a scorer. But yeah, you know what? I don't like the guy. I don't really want him here, but I just saw the name and I'm like, whoa, this guy could be actually pretty good. I mean, let me keep going with that, like kind of in this line of thinking. Like, who could it be? TJ Warren, Jeremy Lamb. Um, there's Derek Jones Jr. out of Chicago. He's available. That's a little interesting. There's also Bo Cruz is on there, man. That's the crazy thing. I mean, I don't think we really need Bo Cruz because, like, he once again he's kind of duplicitous to what I was just talking about. These lengthy guys that come off our bench, and we're kind of looking more for a two guards, small forward, swing, score kind of shooter. Somebody who could be a really good shooter would be the best. Like, and that there's some older names that are kind of like that are on this list, like Wayne Ellington and what was the other guy that's from back in the day? Kent Bazemore. Like those kind of guys. Would you want a Bazemore or a Wayne Ellington as this 3-point scorer shooter guy? Like they're a little bit older, and they've been in kind of shitty team situations in the last couple of years, and we don't know how good they would be on our team or if they would be a kind of right fit. But would you want Kent Bazemore or Wayne Ellington for that MLE, that kind of position, stuff like that? Those guys are out there still. Rahul's saying, I'm hoping the Raps don't use our core pieces to make a trade for Rudy, who's not a superstar player. I would rather sell the farm for KD, except for Scotty. Okay, Rahul's saying no to Utah, and he's saying yes to Brooklyn as long as Scotty Barnes isn't involved. And I agree with this. We don't need to sell the farm to do this. We're in such a position of power. And the funny thing is, nobody is aware of this. People think that the Raptors well, they're not doing anything. They don't care. Well, we've already been good, and we just need to keep going in that direction. Paul B saying positionless, but we keep holding on to Fred. Don't you think he needs to be a trade chip then? No, no. Once again, there's going to be remnants from different eras, and Fred is one of the most important remnants from our championship. And he kind of fits with the positionless scheme on the down low. He's like, all right. What I'm saying is we're going to play more of the positionless scheme this year. But Fred, once again, he can play in the positionless scheme. I know it's an oxymoron in some ways when I say that. But it's like if they switch him at the top with Gary in a certain way, it can work. But Fred's grandfathered in. Like, listen, just because we going towards positionless doesn't mean we don't keep him around. There's a lot of important things that we need a small guard for, other than just the captain stuff that he does and stuff like that. There's things that he does defensively and running the team and all this kind of things. I know I've been harping this stuff the last couple of weeks and stuff, but no, I don't think you do that. I think that Fred needs to. He wants to be a lifer. You can play positionless ball a majority of the time and still have Fred on your team also. That it's like you pick and choose the times where you give the positionless look. It may be that we play positionless just when Fred's not on the court, and that maybe Fred's minutes are between 30 and 35 minutes a game this year, and we get like a good chunk of the game where we're absolutely positionless. I don't know. I know that this is the part of the thing that doesn't jive is Fred VanVleet and positionless, but also in some ways I feel like it does. Like, I don't know. We're going to have to see more experiments with it this season and see what Nick Nurse does and stuff like that. All right. Random Gamer saying, considering that our best player on Philly is a center, I hate that the Raptors have so much length and it's not a traditional team, but it's proven to be effective. Yeah. I mean, I'm excited. Like I think that the most important stat for the Raptors the last couple of years in team building is wingspan. It really is wingspan. Like there's a graphic floating around on Twitter right now with a lineup of crazy wingspan that the Raptors can put out there with Koloko on our team now because he has the longest wingspan now. Koloko's like 7'3" wingspan. And you put him out there with Precious, OG, Chris Boucher, and Scotty or something like that, and you've got this crazy long arm team. Like Greg says, the long arm monsters are going to be in effect next season, even more so. It's going to be crazy. G saying Fred was number one in catch and shoot before his injury, and he's made the third most threes in the league. We need shooters. If Fred plays more off the ball, I truly believe he'll be lethal. Yeah, we need shooters, and Fred is one of the good shooters on our team. So we can't – this is where we have a less of. We cannot move him. That's part of the reason why I wouldn't move him either, for sure. So and Paul B saying Fred back to shooting guard sounds like a good idea. I'd love to see Scotty as the point guard. Yeah, exactly. That's exactly it, Paul, is we just get Fred off ball. and have him catching and shooting more than distributing himself. Because that way he works less, he doesn't tire himself out as much, and that he gets his points and he could get good shots for us and score for us still. G saying also, Paul, Fred is elite at guarding smaller guards. He was injured this playoff, so it didn't show, but he kept Curry's points down the lowest in the league during the Raps Chips run. Yeah, that's true. That Fred is such a good defensive player. He's underrated for his defense. He doesn't get recognized enough for it and stuff like that. So I don't want to keep protecting Fred and stuff like that. I just really want him on the team as long as we can have him. And I hope that this continues, this trend. I'm glad that Masai and Bobby are like me and Fred and the teammates of Fred, and not like a lot of the Raptor fans that are just like so easily like, yeah, we don't need Fred anymore. I'm like, no, that is a big mistake. Because like honestly, I cannot stress this enough. We've lost so many players from our championship team that any linkage to the championship team is essential and important for the Raptors. And that maybe other teams try and pry Pascal and Fred and OG from us because they understand this. And that re-signing Chris Boucher is another linkage to that championship team. It's all important for culture and part of the continuity from that. It's like we want to have a connection to 2019 as long as we can. And all of our guys leaving so quickly, unlike the Golden State Warriors, who were able to keep most of their crew together, they're important guys to keep their dynasty going. We lost our guys, and we don't want to lose the few that we still have. It's just so essential. That's just how I look at it. Let's see. Paul's saying we knew it was over for Mark and Serge when we couldn't play them in the Boston series. Is Fred breaking down after half All-Star season? At the minute, his point guard depth is Flynn and Banton, could be more of the same. Well, the point guard depth for our team doesn't necessarily go to Malachi and Banton. It goes to Scotty and Pascal next. Like I really look at the depth chart as being like Fred. And if we need a small point guard to back up Fred for whatever reason, then you got Malachi or Armani. And then really the backup point guard could be Delano, but it's really, to me, it's Scotty and Pascal. And this is the thing. Fred, we just need to keep Fred healthy this year and really guard his health. If he's in good shape for next year for the playoffs, then we're going to be really good in the playoffs. Trust me. We would have beaten Philadelphia with 100% Fred VanVleet. That Fred he's so crucial and important. And Philly fan knows this, that like Fred, when he played against them when he was healthy, he was killing them. And, I know he has trouble keeping up with Maxey, but Maxey's a special point guard and player in this league that a lot of people, I don't think many people can keep up with Maxey. So Fred being injured made it look even more egregiously bad. But this is the thing. Maxey is a great talent who most people cannot guard or stop. And, Fred may be able, when he's healthy, he can probably do a better job at it and stuff like that. But I'd like to see us move more away. Like, you're talking about phasing Fred out. Well, I'd like to phase out Malachi if he doesn't do a good year this year, if he doesn't have a good season, and stay big. And Fred may be the last small point guard that we have on our team because Scotty is our point guard in the next couple of years, is what I'm saying. So, and Fred could be the shooting guards and still be on the team and be a Raptor lifer and stuff like that. All right, let me just look at the free agency list a little bit more because I do want to see. Isaac Bonga is still on this list. He's not going anywhere. I don't know what's going to happen with him. It could be that we somehow get him on our 905 somehow, some way. Justin Champagny, nothing totally with him. He is a restricted free agent. David Johnson. Those guys, this is going to be so hard. There's not enough spots for everybody. And Ron Harper Jr. is in this mix too. There's going to be 15 guys on the Raptors roster for the season. And 13 of them are already figured out. And that's not even really including, Justin and those guys. So it's going to be very interesting. I'm real ready for Ron Harper Jr. And I want to see him really kill it. Like, I want to see him make his spot on the Raptors and carve it out, just like Fred VanVleet did. That's what I want to see because I really believe in him. I think he's a great guy, and I want to see him really succeed with us. All right, looking at the free agents still. Cassius Winston, he's a point guard. He's a little guy. What about, Ish Wainwright's on this list still. Ish Wainwright. Satorowski. What about Tomas Satorowski? Like he's like Korkmaz. He's this one of these 3-point shooters that's kind of annoying off the bench. Like Satorowski, Bellica. Okay, Tom Duke's saying Greg likes Bellica. Let me see if Bellica's still around. Bajelica. That's what I was calling him, Bajelica. Yeah, he's still there. He's a power. Once again, he's another power forward. Is he going to fit that like scorer shooter need that we need though? Matt Thomas, his name's there. Look at this. Mitchell Robinson is out there still. Wow, New York Knicks center. That's a good player. Both the Martin twins are out there. There's Yuta. Yuta's out there still, of course. Lance Stevenson, guys. Lance Stevenson. Let's just get Lance Stevenson. He'll be awesome. He'd be fun. Isaiah Thomas, the little point guard, he's on the list. DJ Augustin, guys. What about DJ Augustin? I guess he's a point guard. It's not really who we want. Goran Dragic is on this list, guys. He didn't get picked up, y'all. Imagine that. This dude from Milwaukee is interesting. Jordan Nwora. You guys remember him from the games we had against them last year? He was a little bit annoying. Damian Lee, guys, from Golden State. What about Damian Lee? He's a Golden State backup guy that's just kind of hanging around right now. There's Rodney Magruder from Detroit. He's out there. And Raul Neto. We don't want Neto. How about Elfrid Payton, guys? Elfrid Payton. I know that's another point guard. There's Tony Snell. Ben McLemore. Oh, what about listen to this. What if we got Otto Porter Jr., guys, from the Golden State Warriors? Like he's still out there just hanging around. Otto Porter Jr. I don't know. I may have heard where he was going to go already. It might be something like Miami or something like that. Austin Rivers. There's a Holiday brother, Aaron Holiday. Rajon Rondo, guys. What if we had Rajon Rondo all of a sudden on our team with the MLE? I don't know if that would be right or good, honestly. Yeah, there's still a lot of names out there. Dante DiVincenzo is still out there, obviously from Sacramento. That is somebody that we're looking at and that could be the guy that we want. Miles Bridges, guys. Just kidding. Okay, somebody mentioned Bruce Brown just now. Bruce Brown would be good. I think. Oh, wait, you're saying Bruce Brown has agreed to a 2-year deal with the Nuggets. Okay, he's gone. Bruce Brown's gone. Greg likes him because Bajelica is a ring bearer. Oh, he's won rings. Okay. Noir can drop some buckets. I try him out. Otto Porter could be great. G saying Utah's in LA. Well, maybe who knows where Utah's going to end up. It'd be really good. Paul B saying, yes, defense and backup for Fred. This passing is elite. There's a lot of players' names on here. We got to trust them. Kevon Looney is on here. Not that we need another player like Kevon Looney, but Looney is a really good player. And restricted free agent for Cleveland, Colin Sexton. That's crazy. There's a couple of names that are still out there that are pretty big. Dennis Schroeder is available. Avery Bradley. Those are the kind of names that are still out there that the Raptors may look at for a mid-level exception. So, you're talking about Rondo. You want to get Rondo. Defense and passing is elite. Rajon Rondo. I don't know. He could be a headache. I don't know. All right. I don't know how much more to talk about. In review, free agency, just doing exactly what they said they do. I'm glad they did that. Like, this is a management team you can trust, whether you're a player or a fan. And maybe some of the fans don't want to trust them. They want to be able to be like jerked around and have like, oh, they did this move and they did this, like a New York Knicks fan feels, something like that. No, I don't want to feel like that. I want to know what's going on and feel like, you know what? We were predicting these things to happen. And when they happen, we feel real good and comfortable and secure because we understand that the front office is paying attention and they're doing good things and making the right moves. And that's what I took from the quick re-signing of Chris Boucher and Thad Young last night. That they're not messing around. They say what they're going to do and they do it. And that's what they've been saying all summer, that we're going to get a good draft pick at 33. We're not going to mess around with that. And then we're going to re-sign our guys that are important to us. And we'll get another guy down the road for the MLE. So it's going to be exciting. We're still going to get some news from the mid-level exception signing, which is going to come. And as I said, it could be up to about $10 million that we can pay this player. And that means we can get a good quality rotation player for that amount of money and somebody who's kind of a veteran. So it could be a really cool big move still, even though a lot of the best names have been eaten up and grabbed around the league last night. In the mid-level exception area. So we'll have to see. Paul B saying, I also tend to think of players as their career year, so don't listen to me. Yeah, I don't know how good Rajon is at this point as far as his age and stuff like that. And I don't know necessarily if he fits with our team, what our needs for our team needs and stuff like that. Isaiah saying, I'm still with Greg. Is Campozo still out there? Let me see if Campozo's still out there. I think he is, from what I saw last time. I saw his name. It was Kyoto or whatever. He's out there too or something. Yeah, Facundo Campoza. Yeah, these are all point guards still. Like I said, I'm thinking with like Fred be the last of the small point guards and stuff like that. But we'll just have to see. Dwayne Greenridge, good to see a new name every morning, 9:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Alexi, thanks for holding it down for all the Raptors. Massive. Keep up the good work, my man. Thank you, Dwayne. And I hope you come and join us more regularly live because I will read every single comment you guys write in there, even if it's cussing or inappropriate. I'll read it and we'll make it funny. Not that I'm inviting that right now, but I appreciate you being here. I'm going to wrap up on that note. Thank you, Dwayne, for showing up. And everybody, have a great Canada Day. Be safe out there today. And once again, please celebrate this day with some introspection. And understand that Canada is a great country in many ways, but there is a history and a part to our history that is ugly. And that we need to shine a light on it and pay up. Not pay up, but pay up. And literally, we need to go ahead and stop fighting in the courts, Justin Trudeau. The restitution and the money and the things that we should be giving to people that are victims of the residential school scandal. That you're paying so much in court fees to attorneys and stuff like that to hold it up that you might as well just give the fucking money to the people. That it's just ugly look. In Canada, you could be setting a trend opposite of the bullshit that the U.S. is right now as a dumpster fire. Like this EPA decision by the Supreme Court yesterday is absolutely disheartening. It just shows that the United States doesn't give a shit about the rest of the world and that they're honestly a dumpster fire country at this point, that they don't care about Clean Air Act or anything like that. So we should be a better example for the rest of the world. And we should give that money to the people that were victims of the residential schools and stop holding this up. We need to make wrongs right. And that's what I'm saying. I love Canada and I appreciate this country for all it has given me. The freedom to live in a country where I don't live under a puritanical, messed up Catholic Supreme Court that is railroading the U.S. to destruction right now. So thank God I live in Canada and celebrate Canada. Enjoy yourself. Fireworks, please be kind to the animals with fireworks. Don't put them off too much and too loud. Dogs hate them. They really do. But yeah, proud to be a Canadian, proud to be here in Canada and not living in the States as a hybrid Canadian American. And celebrate. Enjoy the game tonight. Team Canada versus Dominican Republic. Let's go, Nick Nurse and Team Canada. Let's win in the FIBA qualifier today and stuff like that. Tom Duke's saying, have a great Canada Day, freaks. He's got all the dinosaurs. He's got the 5-man lineup, the long-armed monsters, and the Maple Leafs. And Rahul's saying, Bobby Marks mentioned that Raptors have the best assets and KD wouldn't go into Toronto if it's not Phoenix and Miami. Yeah, he would want to go to Toronto, wouldn't mind going to Toronto. Okay, I see what you're saying, Rahul. Yeah, we may be honestly one of the best targets to do, but we may not want to even deal. And that's what I hope. Rahul, happy Canada Day to you also. Thanks, guys. Tomorrow, share the love club for Kem Birch, a great Canadian on the day after Canada Day. And he has been too slighted this past week on Twitter and different social media places. We are going to hold it up for Kem Birch and show the love and appreciation we have for him tomorrow morning, 9:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Let's go, Canada. Beat Dominican Republic. I wish I was going to be in Hamilton today, but it is what it is. And I can't wait to see what the Raptors finish out their roster and see the last guy they get. All right, y'all. Let's go, Raptors, and let's go Team Canada. Happy Canada Day. Woo!